I'm an actor. I studied acting, have my degree in acting. I love acting, and I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about the art of acting. I am obsessed with movies, obsessed with TV shows, obsessed with theater, and so I want to talk about it with y'all, okay? That's what we're gonna do. Girl, I don't know what I'm doing, but we gonna figure it out. Hey y'all, my name is Trabrille, and welcome to my little podcast called Trabrille and the Dailies with me, Trabrille. That's my name, Trabrille, and I like to talk about acting, baby. I'm an actor. I studied acting, and I like to talk about it all the time. And so if I'm not doing it, I might as well be talking about it. And I know there are a bunch of other people who like to talk about acting too. So let's talk about acting. Yeah. I am obsessed with movies, TV, plays, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about the performances. I want to talk about these artists that are behind all of these characters because there's so much that goes into it, baby. And we need to talk about it. It's an art that needs to be appreciated, and I don't think a lot of people appreciate it. And even if they do, still, we gonna talk about it. We gonna get to the nitty gritty of it all. You understand? I did see two great movies this past weekend. One of them was Sinners, so we will be talking about Sinners in one of our first few episodes, because we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it to get into it. That was such a beautiful film. It was shot so beautifully, and the acting, oh my gosh. Films like that, I be getting emotional. I went to go see it with my best friend, and she's not black, but she gets it. She understands. And I told her, I was like, girl, watching movies like that with a black led cast that look just like me, girl, hit me here every time. I also saw Thunderbolts today, and I don't know what I was expecting from it. I did a really good job avoiding spoilers for both of those movies. I knew it was going to be a bit like, I'm a crybaby, so like I knew maybe I was going to, my bestie warned me. She was like, hey, you gonna need some tissues, so just get ready, because she know I'm a crybaby. I was in that theater ugly crying the whole time, but we gonna get into it because those performances. I also had the pleasure of seeing The Other Place and the National Theater at Home site, which I just found out about. Dear God, I love it. Brilliant performances, all those actors, and we gonna get into that as well. As you can tell, we got a lot on our plate that we're gonna be talking about. I will be splitting those up into different episodes we can talk about. I guess I don't know. I don't like talking about myself, but I am an actor. I don't want to say it was always a dream of mine to be an actor. I did not think that this was a life meant for somebody like me and how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I do remember the very first play I was ever in. It sucked so bad. I wasn't supposed to be in that play. I was in middle school. I was a painfully shy kid. I wanted no attention whatsoever, but the arts always amazed me. I'm a Pisces, so, but like I said, I was like painfully shy. I don't know, internet keep going in and out, so it keep restarting. I don't even know if I need to be this close to the mic. I'm just up here. I don't even know where I left off. Yes, my first time acting in a play when I was in middle school, going to the Boys and Girls Club. It was a Christmas play. Like I said, I was too shy to actually, but I was always interested, so I would just lurk around in their rehearsals. The day of, somebody decided that they couldn't be in it. They dropped out very unprofessional, and so they were scrambling. They were like, oh my gosh, we need somebody to fill in. And one of the counselors was like, Trabrille, oh my God, Trabrille, you have to do it. Only you can do it. And like, you're always here. You can do it. I believe in you. Just come on, we need you. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. I should not have done it. But I did it because, yeah, you do need me. You know what I'm saying? You do need me. There are way too many lines for me to memorize. I had never had to memorize lines before, and so I had no clue what I was doing, but they needed me. And so I go, damn. Okay, you got me. And I try to memorize those lines. The only problem was I could only memorize my very first line and my very last. And so I got on that stage and I said my first line, and my scene partner They said their line, and I completely froze. My mind went blank. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was supposed to say. Was completely lost. I just stood there staring at them, and they stared at me. And I stared at them, and then they stared at me some more, and then I turned. That's what I fucked up at. I turned and I looked at the audience. It was filled with parents, siblings, friends. I shouldn't have looked out into that audience. I shouldn't have done that. I don't recommend ever doing that. If you ever mess up on a line, you forget some shit, do not look at the audience, because they're looking at me like, oh, you a professional. Why you up here acting like this? Baby, I just got here. I should not have looked at that crowd. And then I looked back, I turned back around and I look off stage at one of the counselors, and they're like, and I look back at my scene partner, and I'm literally like, help me. You know what I mean? It was so unprofessional. It was really unprofessional. You know, when you in situations like that as a scene partner, you're supposed to be like, uh-oh, we in trouble. Let me pick it up and fix. No, baby, you been here. You know what I'm saying? It was so unprofessional. I was like, I literally cannot work with these people, until finally something in my brain clicked. It was like, girl, you know your last line. Just say your last line and just get off the stage. Last line. Because that's all I could remember. And then my scene partner looked at me like I was stupid. Like, oh, that ain't your line. That's not what go next. I'm sorry. Were you trying to help me? I think not. He looked off stage. I was just like, so I think I repeated it. I'm getting off this stage one way or another. You're not keeping me here. Let's go. And so finally they got with the program. I have never left the stage so fast. I was like, I'm never doing that again. Acting is not on the list of possibilities. I'm never doing it again. Fast forward the following year, I did it again. But this time I was prepared, and I ended up having a monologue. And when I tell you, I would sit in my closet with that monologue in hand, and I would just sit there and like memorize them. I was not getting caught up again. You weren't gonna catch me slipping again. We were gonna get it right. Okay? And we got it right. I have never felt more proud of myself than that following year when I got on that stage and I did my monologue. And I was like, yeah, maybe I can do this. And then that quickly went away when I realized that people like me did not get afforded those opportunities. And so I just kind of like, after that, I went to high school, which is crazy because I went to performing arts middle school and a performing arts high school, but I stuck to like art throughout those years. It's because like, I'm using a lot of equipment that my computer is just like, what the heck are you doing? Because my internet just keeps going out. But it say it's still recording, so hey, we gonna get to it and hope for the best. Anyway, I didn't do any acting after that until I was 26, getting out of the military, where I had the epiphany that I wanted to be an actor and that I could be an actor. Something told me that I could do it. And it felt like a breath of fresh air coming to that realization. And fun fact, when I was transitioning out of the military, the plan was for me to go back home, which is South Florida. I was going to get my AA and be a medic for 2 years. And then after that, firefighter, because I wanted to be a firefighter. And my mom, she like knew a retired fire chief, so she was like, yeah, you in there, just say the word. And then I had that epiphany, and I was like, no, I'm going to Hollywood. And my family was real cool about it, which is crazy. But growing up, my favorite thing to do, and one of the things that I still do, is whenever I watch a movie or a TV show, play whatever, I always find a character that I really like, and I just imagine myself in that role as that character as I'm watching it. And so I no longer see the actor that's actually playing that role. I see myself in it. It's so fun to do. And so now it's just working at it to the point where I'm actually there. Life has kicked your girl in the backside. Hit me. But we move. Okay? We're very excited for things to come. Do I know what's coming? Absolutely not. I have no clue what's going to happen with this, but I'm just having a good time right now talking about acting, because that's all I ever want to do. Even if I'm not actively on somebody's set. You know what I mean? I just want to talk about it. I want to be in it as much as I can, in any way that I can. And just because I'm not on somebody's set, just because I'm not exactly where I want to be, I'm where I need to be, I can still very much immerse myself into acting. You know what I mean? We not stopping no show. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is going to be anyway. It's weird. I think maybe we stop here. I don't know, but I'm very excited for things to come, and I hope you're as excited as I am to talk about all things acting. Acting is the most fun I've ever had doing anything. Is also the scariest, most nerve-wracking thing that I have ever done, and I was in the Marine Corps. It's the only thing I think. So let's get into it. Up next, we're going to talk about Thunderbolts. Mostly because it's the freshest thing on my mind right now. Because I just saw it today. And I cried my eyes out. Okay? Like ugly cried, sobbing. I literally had to stop people from hearing me cry. So good. So good. I can also tell you about a time that I met David Harbour. I love him. Okay? So yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Thanks for chatting with me. And to remind you, my name is Trabrille. And you're hanging with me. Trabrille, and we're talking about the dailies, baby. Trabrille the Dailies. We'll see you next episode.